We back, we are back. And what are we working on, man? We got that Evil Energy 3/8 high pressure fuel line, 20 feet. Got them AN fittings that came with it, 6 AN. Working on this fuel system for old box Chevy. It does not come with the adjustable wrench, but it does come with swivel hose, fuel line fittings, and that nice stuff. Very nice stuff. I like the braided fuel hose. I like it. Everything you kind of want swooping as far as this. You don't want no kinks. So we got 20 foot. Then what I like using on some of these existing lines, if you have a, let me show you. Center unit, right? Being that the 1989 Caprice is already fuel injected, so we already have what is needed to do an LS swap on this fuel system in the tank. Simple Simon. All right. Let's look at this sending unit. This is the factory sending unit. Works the same as the sending unit that I plan on putting in. And the only difference is this fuel pump. The pressure on this pump is not enough. The factory fuel pump, the pressure is not high enough to run an LS engine. I'm not 100% sure what the pressure is on it. Maybe 32 pounds, maybe 28 pounds. You know, nevertheless, if you got an 89, 80, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, all the way up to 96, whether that be Caprice, Impala, and you put an LS in it, all this will work. The sending unit stuff, all that will work. But that pump won't. The pressure ain't high enough. So you have to go bump your pump up to a higher pressure. When I chose to go with Walbaro 255, and then this one, what I don't like about this one is, see where that ground is? Instead of having a ground wire running up through the hat, they just take the ground wire and tap it off of here, the top. I'd much rather have a ground going from here all the way to the actual pump itself versus to the ground. Because if this was to ever come off, you know, come undone right here, how would you know? I mean, you're gonna have to pull the pump apart anyway, or the tank down and pull all this out anyway. But and this sending unit here is, like I said, it's the original. I don't think the pump's the original. I don't know. And then as far as this compression fitting here, this style compression fitting is efficient enough to run factory fuel lines on that car. You can run the factory fuel line on your car to your LS. It's a steel line. It's not a rubber line. And two, it's a high pressure fitting. High pressure. You have to get an adapter from here, get an adapter from this. The engine side, here's that adapter that I was telling you guys about right there. It's 6 AN as well. 6 AN. So, because we go from 6 AN here down to that 3/8 6 AN there, which is a hard line, steel line, more than efficient enough to run what we're trying to do. More than efficient enough. It's just that some of these fittings right here, see that? I don't have it tight, so I'm gonna tighten it up and make sure that that's gonna work. But like I said, 6 AN to that adapter, what I'm showing you on this video, that eases up to some stuff. It makes things easier. And if not, I still can cut it. I can cut it right here and go with a compression 3/8 to 6AN if this won't work. So I have another option. This is a factory return, which we will be cutting off and getting rid of. No need of having that up here because all my return is everything is going to be taking place at the Corvette fuel filter regulator in the rear of the car. But on this side, you can screw this right into the hose that you have there. Now, is that hose efficient enough for the pressure you're trying to run? I don't know yet. I opted to go with a higher pressure hose than the one you're seeing me put in this video. I did change the hose. I'm not running the hose that you've seen me put in this video. But and then as far as your return goes, your feed's 3/8. You'll hear me say that a lot in this video. And then your return is 5/16. As you can see, it's just an old hose clamp on the 5/16 return because one, your pressure is not really high on the return. Your pressure is higher on the feed. So that's the difference between this sending unit or any other sending unit you plan on using in your LS swap Caprice box Chevy. Now, if you have an 88 on back, 78, 77, you could put this same tank. You could put a tank from a 1989, or you could put a plastic tank from a bubble in your car. They fit perfect. And run this same setup. Then you can run an in-tank pump, and you don't have to run a pump on the fuel rails. You don't have to run a tank pump on the frame rail. I'm sorry. You don't have to run a pump on the frame rail. And that quiets it. It's quieted down. You know, most time a pump you have on the frame rail, you can hear it more. All this is going to be the same, man. Wiring wise, it should be the same. You have gray, that's your feed, that's your signal, that's telling the pump to come on to run. Purple, that's telling you how much fuel you got in your tank. That is to your sending unit itself, the level. And then you have ground. That is what you have, man. And if I'm not mistaken, these plugs are probably the same. Now, you don't have that on your older stuff if it's carbureted. But like I said, run you some wires back to the back of the car and make something happen. You're gonna have a ground, and you're gonna have a ground, and you're gonna have a sending unit wire on your older stuff. You would have to run you a signal wire from your relay to your pump, which would be to this right here, and you're ready to rock and roll with the newer tank, with the newer updated pump. You have to go 255 or up. There's others out there, you know, there's several different makes. I like a 255, and something of the nature is going to have you up to 58 to 62. That's what they say that run LS motors fuel pressure. Hope I'm helping. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's get into this video a little deeper. This is a compression to 3/8 compression to 6AN fitting. I like it because everything's compression fitting, 6AN fitting. Then I also have a 5/16, which is your return. Your return is going to be 5/16. Your feed's going to be 3/8. This is for a 8 box Chevy. Could do the same thing on a bubble. 3/8 fuel line. Now, is this necessary? This is not really necessary. I could use the existing fuel line, which is a metal fuel line that also has a fuel filter in the line, which I may use. And then what I also like, because we're not running a regulator on the fuel rail itself, we have a fuel filter regulator, Corvette fuel filter regulator with 6AN inlet, 6AN outlet, and 6AN feed. So why do I like 6AN stuff? Because it is almost leak proof, almost leak proof. Any of your high pressure hydraulic stuff is going to be 6A, or it's going to be AN style fittings. So like if I'm using this, I screw it on that dude like that, right? And then screw it straight on here, or 90 on here. So what I'm gonna have to do, what I gotta do is about cut my finger off. what I got to do is cut me a little bit of this, maybe about 1.5 feet worth, to feed. How the fuel filter regulator works is you have, this is a Walbaro 255 fuel pump, which is plenty pressure enough to feed fuel to any LS engine, standard fuel pressure. You know what I mean? 58 to 62. But how this works is one of these inlet, one of these outlet. I'm not 100% sure just yet. I have to go back and look. One's inlet, one's outlet, and then you have an inlet and outlet here. So you're gonna have, I don't know how much pressure here, and then it regulates it down to 58 to 62 here to the rails. When it comes out of here, it goes to the rails. So then I got the part number for the 3/8 male 6AN is also Evo Energy X003JGUS0Z. That is the 3/8. And the 5/16, let me find it. The 5/16 part number is X003JHAD6X. Those are your part numbers for 5/16 compression to 6AN, which is that one, and then 3/8 compression to 6AN. So I gotta cut me a piece of this off, run me a hose from that to this, drop this back in the tank, go ahead and cut this and put my 5/16 AN style fitting on here. Cut it with a cutting disc, and then also cut my line here. So let me do those things. We'll come back with, hopefully these two made it together. All right, what I got is the original hose. We're gonna go ahead and put that original hose got to come out of here and feed the system. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is, I want to keep my straight 6ANs. I don't want to use all my straights. I got, let's see. All right, looks like I got 4 of them. I got 4. I'm gonna need 1, 2 for this. 1, 2, and then I'm gonna need 1, 2 for that. So I'll probably just go ahead and use this little 30-degree one right here off of this. See how that goes. The thing with these high pressure lines, these self-made high pressure setup stuff, is this is threaded, the cap is threaded, and what you're trying to want to do is put it on, get it started, and it's left-handed thread. So the more that you turn it left-handed, the tighter it gets down on that hose. All the way in there until she bottoms out. And we take this other side, like I said, this is left-hand thread. We take this other side, screw it in the right way. And it should catch the threads and put itself inside the fitting. The only thing is, you kind of want to hold everything to make sure you don't lose what you got. Now, what would be nice if I did have those wrenches that they advertise in there, they're aluminum wrenches, I think they are. It's a very tight fit. We kind of want that because we don't want no leaks. We don't want no leaks. It's coming out of that setup should be 58 to 62 PSI. And then when I do all this, I'll take an air hose and blow it out as well. So that's going to be my feed. That's going to come out of this, like so, right? $6 a.m. feed to my standard hard line 3/8. I guess I could have cut that line and used that 3/8 the 3/8 as well from here to here of the new hose, and that's going to be my 2 straights, my 2 3/8 compression fitting, or 3/8 for fuel lines. Like I said, one's a feed, one's a return. They don't give you directions on which is which on these, so you have to definitely look at a picture. All right, what I do is I'll put tape around it before I cut it, and I cut right down the center of the tape, and then I screw the other end on to where it stays on, and then I might help put a little bit of like a WD or something so it's not so dry when you're trying to get these two started. Some type of something. So I've already blew it out. So what I'm gonna do is get my other 3/8 straight, 3/8 to 6 a.m. Like I said, this is gonna screw on here. But we have to make our own fuel line. We have to make our own fuel line. And it's not as hard as you think. A lot of it's self-explanatory. Explanatory. You know, I put the tape on here. Sometimes when you put the tape on there, you put it too thick and it makes it hard for you to get this started. But you put the tape on it so you don't want it to fray. And most of the time I'll get a socket and a ratchet and I'll run it down with that. Let me find one. Having a vise to be able to put these in a vise would be great. You know what I'm saying? But that's something I don't have at the moment. And then the location of me being able to work on it and show you guys what I'm doing is so tight I can't get in there to do anything. So there, and it's all the way bottomed out. Can't go anymore. Still have my tape on it. So now I'll add this other end here to it. Screw it in. I've had decent luck with Evil Energy as far as my fuel line, no leaks and such. I've had pretty good luck with Evil Energy stuff. And then, no, this is not a sponsored video. I had to purchase this stuff. No sponsorship here. Let's turn it on in there. Let's turn it in there. And it's getting tight. She's getting tight now. She's getting tight. So the last one you see I was holding it with them vice grips, scarring everything up. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Uh-oh. So, like now, it is, everything else is turning. Wrong stuff is turning. The wrong stuff is turning. And I can't turn it no more. Can't get it to turn no more. My actual hose is turning. We don't want that. We don't want the hose to turn. We just want the fitting to turn. Uh-oh. I don't like this, y'all. Feels like, yep, it did exactly what I thought it wasn't going to do, but it did. The whole time I thought I was screwing it in, it was pushing it out. So that didn't work. I think I had too much tape on it. I'm going to take some of this tape off and start that way. And try it again without the tape. I had it bottomed out, and I know it was bottomed out. But that's where I think that WD would help. A little more lubricant. This is going to be our feed. This is going to be the feed to the Corvette fuel filter regulator. This is going to be the feed. I want to verify that this is tight. I want to make sure that my compression fitting is tight. I don't want to. All right, she's tight. That's going to be my feed, but I don't want to just yet. I had to bend this out of the way because I'm going to have to cut this. I got to cut this little nipple off. See that little nipple? I cut that nipple off for my compression fitting to work. So I'm going to go do that real quick and make up this other line, and we'll have feed and return and for our Corvette fuel filter regulator. And all I gotta do is drop this in the tank and bolt this up accordingly, tighten everything back up. I think we should have fuel going to the front of the vehicle. I mean, the compression fitting on the return side, I don't feel is 100% necessary, because the pressure going, the return pressure is a lot less. The return pressure is a lot less than the feed pressure. So I don't feel like that's really necessary, but you know what I mean? We shall see. So y'all gonna watch me. You're gonna watch me put it on there. Let's see, let me get some of this stuff out of the way. Don't wanna jumble it up too much. All right, the one in the center is our return. That's our return. The one in the center is the return. We've already got the feed. First thing we have to do, we have to put this on first, right? Slide that on. Then we have to put our compression fitting, our piece of brass compression. Sometimes they go on easy, sometimes they don't. I mean, this one here might have a little booger. Might have a little booger. I might get foul this little edge a little bit, I'm not sure. Oh, it went on. Okay, it went on. Okay, now I want to push this down as far as I can get it. And it fell all the way down. Okay. So if you look down in there, you see that compression fitting, or that that coupler brass fitting is all the way in there. Now what I want to do here is I want to screw this in, and what's going to happen is that piece of brass is going to spread, and then it's going to tighten up, and we're going to have a tight seal. So, I don't know if y'all see. You can't see it, can you? I'm right-handed, so it makes things a little harder for me to show y'all, but all I'm doing is tightening up this fitting. Pushing on it and tightening it up. To the barb. We're going from the barb fitting to compression. And then this other line you see here is just a vent. That's all it is a vent. Let's see if y'all can see. That's all I'm doing is tightening. All I'm doing is tightening. And we want to get him as tight as we can get it. We don't want to bust it, but we want it tight. Alright, cool. Alright. So, that's that. Get all this trash off of here. That's our compression, high pressure compression fittings. We already got, like I said, we got the line. This is our feed. I need to cut one more for our return. I'll drop all this in the tank. I'll screw this on. I'll drop this sending unit in the tank with the hoses. I don't want them tight. I'll just leave them loose. I'll tighten them once everything's in position. But what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to pause this and go see which is feed and which is return. Some of them says the in and out on them. This one does not. Corvette fuel filter regulator with the AN style. I really like them because of the AN. How I'm doing all this. Y'all know how to cut hose, correct? Everybody knows how to cut a hose. You put tape around it, you cut it, and then that's how you do it. So that's what we're doing. Be right back. Okay, got it cut. And we're gonna use straights of it, you know, the filter sock. We'll put that on the bottom of it, drop it in the tank. We have the new rubber O-ring as well. Drop that on there, put that in the tank. And then we also have a new ring that holds it in. So let me go grab all that. Okay, like I said, the sending unit came with all the fixings to make it quieter. Uh-oh. Man, I'm glad that this O-ring came with it. I am glad that it came with it. I wish I had another one. But anyway, boom. I'm glad it came with it. We need to put the sock. This is the Walbaro 255 sock. Put that sock on. And then we need to put the rubber gasket, O-ring, whatever you want to call that dude. I mean, I don't necessarily have to put it on from this side. I can put it on from this side. Right? Right. I'm gonna put it on from this side. As it goes underneath the hat. Let's just make it easier on myself. And put it on from here. Because it goes underneath the hat, like I said. Had to wire in the pump. Heat shrink. Because the fitting wasn't the same. The plug-in style fitting wasn't the same. Alright. And then this goes over the top. I'm using all the... Uh-oh. I might squeeze that back in there because remember we moved it. So, alright. That goes like so. I'm going to drop this dude in the tank. The line, we'll go ahead and run that up through her, see how she do. And because it has that compression style fitting. See, and they do make an adapter from compression. I think I got one. Male to female for the OBS style setup. Now these are for the, I want to say these are for the what is it for? The 5/16 line and not the 3/8 line. I've got the 3/8 line already on, but I'm gonna be honest, they had bad reviews on these. Bad reviews, so we'll see how it goes. What we'll do is, because if not, if it don't do like I'm supposed to do, I still have this compression fitting. I like putting saving all my untouched stuff, even the sock from the fuel pump, Evil Energy stickers, and then all the other crap we'll just throw away. Well, we'll hold on to these packages for the part numbers. I'll put because I'm gonna read them off to y'all again here in a minute anyway. And so yeah, let me go ahead and get this put back in for the tank. I can slap the tank back in. Fuel line will be ran because we're just gonna screw this right back on that factory line.